Morning, students. This is Rakesh Gagneja from Lalpur Khalsa College of Engineering, Computer Science Department. Uh, as we have already done a topic called as pointers and the basic of pointers, which include null pointer and a concept of how we can declare pointer, how we can use, what are the benefits of pointer. Now we are going to continue that particular syllabus. So now we are going to start a topic called as arrays and pointers, or we can say that the relationship between array and pointer. This is one of the most prime concept while we are developing any of the program. So you can see, as we have already done in the class, arrays is a homogeneous collection of data items in which we can store the data types which are of only one type only. So in this program, this is very simple program in which we are just going to print the address of the array element. So this is going to be helpful in our coming programs while we are using pointer inside an array program. Right now, we are just going to, in this particular example, in this particular program, we are only going to spin our concepts on arrays. Right, students? Okay. So look, if you look at this example, in this particular example, uh, we'll start with the main section, and then we are having an array. The name of the array is x, the size we have given 4, and normal integer variable I. So in this case, you can see we have started a loop 0 to 4, and it will go for 4 elements only, as we have less than sign. If we have less than equal, it will go for more than 4. Okay, so now what we are going to do is array I is equal to 0. So condition is true. Yes. 0 less than 4. Yes. So we are going into the loop. We are going into this particular statement, and we are going to print the address of first element of the array. As you can saw in the output, this is a printf statement, and this is how we are going to print the address of the first element of the array. Okay, guys. So in order to print the address of 4 elements of the array, we have used printf statement for 4 times. Although it has been written once, but loop will go for 4 times, and we will get that particular output. And next time, after 4th element, the loop is going to be, the condition is going to be false, because at that point of time we are having 4 in place of I, and 4 is not less than 4. So we are going out from this loop, and then we are going to print the address of an array x. Okay, we are going to use return 0 because we are having an integer over there, and whenever we are having integer over there, we are going to return 0. Getting my point, guys? So this is a basic concept, or we can say the relationship between arrays and pointers, but we have just started with the concept of an array, how to print the address of an array. In the next example, where we were going to use pointers, and we are going to understand what is the legitimate method in order to print array using pointer. So there is a syntax over there. We'll discuss in the next slide. Hope the concept has been clear till now. Okay. So this is something which we have what we have already done in the class, and we know the concepts of an array. We know how the elements are going to be stored in the array. How, for example, difference between the two consecutive element will be definitely going to be same. For example, in a case in which we are just imagining that integer is going to take the 4 bytes. So the first element is going to be stored at the location, for example, x0 is going to location. Just imagine the last we have C002, and the next element is going to be stored at C006. Just an example to understand the concept, that in this particular case, in this particular you can say the organization of particular array, address points to always address points to the data types and the size which has been consumed by that particular data. Okay. So in this case, you can say the address. In this case, you can see this is what we can say at the address. We have used address of operator over there, and for that one particular element. But now the question arises, while using pointer, how we can arrange and how we can print that particular value. In case of normal pointer, what we have understand that we can easily print the value by using asterisk sign, or we can say that the dereferencing of that particular pointer. But in case of array using pointer, what we need to do is we need to use this. This is basically a syntax, or we can say, I'm repeating, this is a legitimate method in order to print an array using the pointer. And x, whose index value is 1, or we can say the size of an array is 1, or we want to print the first element, or we can, so how we can print, we need to put this asterisk sign and then x plus 1. We can say this is, or in the next minute if we want to print the second element, so this is the, we need to again put this method, we again need to put this sign over there and then the element which we want to print. And in case of address, the address is equivalent to x plus 1. Like, whenever we need to print a particular value, we need to put asterisk sign, or in terms of student, we used to pronounce in order to understanding that this sign is called as star sign, or just to understand that concept. We are not supposed to write that thing in the exam, but if in order to learn, in order to understand that concept, we used to call it as star, but actually it is asterisk sign, or you can say what we are going to use called as the dereferencing of a pointer, or we are going to use that particular value which has been stored at that particular address. And in this case, that particular value which has been stored on this particular pointer is going to access with the help of array. And in this case of array, the value is going to be accessed. We need to mention that particular value. We'll understand, the concept will be more easily understood after taking that particular example. We'll do in the next slide. This is, or you can say, the basic orientation, basic syntax of how we are going to implement array into the pointer, or the relationship between array and pointer. Right guys, hope the concept has been clear till now. So now, very simple example, what we have done in this program. Okay, so this is header files which we have used over there. Now we have the main section over there. We have put integer over there. We are definitely going to return something. So okay, now we have the I as a normal variable. I as a normal variable. This is an integer array, and this is a variable in which we have initialized the sum to 0. Right guys? So now we are going to scan an array. So now I is equal to 0, I less than 6, and this is an increment. Now what we are going to do, we are going to scan that particular array. As we have already studied, we have already discussed in the previous size, address of operator of the element is equivalent to x, we can say plus, or in some of the books you will find is called as the concatenation sign on and the name of the element. In this case, similarly, we use x plus I, and the value of I changes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not going to be at 6 because we have 6 element, index value is 0. 0 to 5, 6 number of elements. We have scanned 6 values. Now what we are going to do is, now we are going to perform the sum of those particular values, as we have done in the class while we have just started the looping concept. We know how to find the sum of the natural number or sum of given series. We have done 6 to 7 programs about this using while loop, do while loop, and many of the other things. So what now we are going to do is sum plus equal to, now this is particular, this particular thing refers to a value which has been stored at array. Like in the same way, this is how we can say the scanf, and this is something which we have used while we are going to perform the addition of two numbers or addition of any of the numbers. And it means sum is equal to sum plus, we can say asterisk sign x plus I, it means the first value. The first we have initialized sum to 0, so the first is 0 plus first value. For example, in this program 0 plus 2, then 2 plus 3, then 5 plus 4, 9 plus 4, 13 plus 12, and then 25 plus 4, 40. 29. This is how the values are going to be stored in this particular sum variable. And now at last we are going to print that particular value. This is the only difference between the sum of a given numbers and this program is that in this we have used asterisk sign and in this we have used pointer. In this we are going to scan array using this particular method. Although you can use this particular method in that program also, but whenever we are having pointer over there, so that at that particular time we need to use that dereferencing operator for sure. This is something which differentiate a normal variable from a pointer variable. Although in this particular program we have not used any of the pointer variable. Remember guys, we are still dealing only with the pointers. We are dealing with the arrays. So you can see, I have not declared any of the pointer yet in this program. But still, we are just understanding the basic of relationship between the pointers and array. As we can introduce pointer into array without declaring the pointer. This is something which I have learned now till now. Okay, this is a basic program, a simple example. You can say just a brief concept of relationship between pointers and array. Now, in this particular program, now we have just spin the equation into some you can say some more technical way, and we have also declared a pointer. As we have used to discuss that thing in the class, that array, pointers, functions, structures, all are brothers. They need to combine in order to make a whole complete C family. This is something which you used to learn in the class. So this is a program in which we are going to understand that particular concept. Okay, just think. If you look at this program, what we have done in this program is that this is main section, and after the main section we have declared an array, and in this particular array we are having 5 elements, and we have given the name of the 5 element is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have already given values to the particular array. Okay, so now what we are going to do is now we have also declared an integer pointer. This is how we are going to declare an integer pointer. This is we have used asterisk sign. This all thing which we have already learned in previous video lecture, that this is basic syntax to declare a pointer variable. And pointer variable is a variable, guys please speak with me, pointer variable is a variable which holds the address of the another variable. Okay guys, okay, good. So now in this program you can see what we have done is address of the third element, 2, with the address of the third element, which is 3, is assigned to the pointer is assigned to the pointer variable, like this, assigning right hand side to left hand side. This pointer contains the address, but this time it contains the address of the third element. So what is the third element? 3. Just remember guys. So now we are going to print star ptr. It means, or asterisk sign or dereferencing of a pointer, it points to address, and when we have put asterisk sign over there, it points to the value, and the value is 3. Getting my point guys? So it is going to print the 3 because we have stored only third element. Although we can use the loop to store any of the number of elements, we can store every element, but now we are just understanding the concept, and in order to understand some more things, we have just stored the value of third element. Okay, so now question arises, what would happen if we are going to print this particular statement? Now, as we have studied that particular thing in this particular example, that it is equivalent to first element, it is equivalent to second element. In this case, it will point to the fourth element. Yes, the thing which you are thinking, students, absolutely right. If we have put +1 over there, it is going to put the fourth element. Now, if we are going to decrement 1, and it gives us the second element. This is the output which you will get after running that particular program. Okay. Difference between example 1 and example 2 is that in example 1 we have not used any pointer, but you'll say, sir, you said we have not used any example, but still we have declared as asterisk sign or it is a pointer. No, we have not declared, but we have used because we are discussing the relationship between pointer and array. But in this particular case, we have declared a pointer, and pointer has been assigned an address of an array element. In this case, the address of array element is third element, which is 3. In order to make it more easy, we have used 3 as a third element so that it won't produce any kind of confusion while understanding that particular concept. Getting my point, guys? Hope the situation is cleared up to this particular slide. Next example. Now in this example, what we have done in this particular example. Look at this particular example. So this is basically an header section. We all are aware about that particular thing from day one while we are studying about PPS. Now we have the main section. We have integer over there, so we'll return an integer. Common things which we have already discussed. Now what we have done? What is happening over there? In this particular program, now we are having the array which is having the 5 elements. So return type, or we can say the data type which we have used is double. Now 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double 0, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Now in this particular case we have used double pointer. This is a, we can say P is a pointer to double, which means it can store the address of the variable of double type. Okay, and this particular thing, when we are going to put asterisk sign over there, it gives us the value available at the address. Getting my point, guys? Exactly. Now this is a normal integer variable. Now what we are going to do? Now we are going to store the address of a particular array into pointer variable, and then we are going to output each array element. Now in a simple words, it's not going to be, it is actually the same thing which we have discussed, is nothing. For example, if we are going to display this particular sign, statistic sign, and balance plus 1, like balance plus I is equal to 0 or I is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, it will produce, balance plus 0 will produce the value which has been stored at balance 0. Okay, and balance plus 1 will produce a value which has been stored at balance 1. Balance plus when I is equal to 2, it will produce 3.4. When balance is equal to 4, it will produce this. Okay, therefore it is a legitimate way of accessing data which has been stored at array called as balance. Once you store the address of the first element in T, you can access array element using asterisk sign and T, or you can say star P. Star P plus 1, or we can say asterisk bracket P plus 2, like if you see star P plus 2 and so on. Okay, so this is basically an example in which we just output the element using both concepts, pointer concept and the normal array concept. This is basically the output. The things are same when we are using pointer and when we are using balance, which is an array using an address. Getting my point, guys? This is the only thing which we need to mind is this particular slide. How we are going to implement the things. And last, we just combine those concepts with those previous concepts which we have already studied. Array we have studied, and we are just going to implement that particular thing and just putting add-on flavor or add-on pace of pointer variable. Okay. Hope the situation has been cleared up to this point. So now, pointer arithmetic. So pointer arithmetic is little bit different from the arithmetic where we have studied till now date. We can do addition, subtraction, or we can subtract 2 pointers, or we can add 2 pointers. only thing which we need to keep in mind is that while we are having an integer variable, then we need to just remember the bytes which integer will take to store a particular value. For example, we are having the address. So in this particular case, like we have the address 1000. Then if we increment by 1, for example, our compiler will take integer as a 4 byte and it will move to 1004 because we are just imagining that our compiler is taking integer as a size of 4, so 1000 plus 4 is equal to, instead of 1001 while implementing, because size is 4 bytes. Size of integer data type which we are taking by this particular compiler is 4 bytes. Okay, if we are having any system in which we are taking the size of the integer as a 2 bytes, then it will definitely going to be 1002. This is a arithmetic procedure which we need to follow while we are doing with pointer. Similarly, in case of float, we'll use 4. In case of double, we use 8. In case of char, we use 1. Things are directly mapped with the things which we have already done while we are doing the data types. In this particular case, what we are going to just putting the size of the data type along with address in order to find out the next address while we are doing the incrementing. So in case of decrementing, we'll go to that course. Okay, so this is a basic example in which what we have done is, if you can see, in this particular example, we have an integer variable 12 and a pointer IP in which we have stored the address of an I, and we have the double D as a double variable. We have stored 2.3 in double. We have used DP as a double pointer, and similarly in case of char, we have used ch pointer. Okay, so what we are going to do is, first we are going to just print a value which has been stored at IP. Okay, so value which has been stored at IP, and what value which has been stored at IP is address of an I. So it will show the address. Simple. We'll go one by one. Yeah. The value of DP. DP contains address of D. So this is address of D. CP. It contains address of CP. In order to understand, we can say it is CP means character pointer address, or character pointer. It will contain the address of CH. So we are having the address this. Now the value of IP plus 1. Now the concept arrives. What is the value which has been stored now? So we can say your IP is an integer pointer, and the address stored is 229. Address at which it is stored is 2293316. We incremented by 1. So as we have discussed in previous example, in case of integer, if integer variable is of 4 bytes, it will be increment by 4. Same concept has been implemented over there. So plus 4, the address is 2293320. Despite 2293317, the address is 20 because we have used integer. Getting my point, guys? In case of double, same concept. 4 plus 8, 12. In case of character, 3 plus 1, 4. Are you getting my point, guys? This is something which we need to do in order to understand the concept of pointer arithmetic. It is relative to the basic type of pointer. Only thing which we need to understand is that if we are having the integer pointer which contains any of the address and we increment it by 1, we will get that particular address plus 1 multiplied by the value which has been stored over there. Char seems to be ordinary arithmetic. Size is 1 byte, and so we'll increment by 1 only. Okay, so this is all about today. So today we have finished concept pointer arithmetic, pointer to array, and how we can use pointer into the array and relationship between pointer and array. So hope you'll understand what we have studied. So if you have any queries, feel free to ask. Thank you guys. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you so much.